Hello there, kiddos. Thank you for joining me here again for another nonfiction readers workshop lesson. As you know, we're really zooming in on those text features in our nonfiction books. So we've talked, a little bit about the table of contents, the pictures, and even those bold words. Kiddos, yesterday I took a little drive just to the grocery store, and as I was driving, I found that I was really zooming in on the different signs or the different visuals that I was noticing. For example, I saw a stop sign right away and I followed that direction. I saw street signs right away and I knew where I was headed. I was able to really follow the directions of the traffic lights. Friends, as I was driving, it really made me think about how when we are reading our nonfiction books, there are also in our books many visuals out there. So turn your brains on. Here comes our teaching point. Today, I want to teach you, when you see a visual like a chart, a graph, I need you to stop and think. What information is this visual giving me? And why is it important? So boys and girls, here's our strategy. When you see a visual, stop and think. What information am I learning? And why is this information important? So guys, as I was driving yesterday, like I said, was really zooming in on the different signs. So like a stop sign, why is that important? Of course, so that all traffic isn't going in the same direction at the same time so that we can stay safe. I also, noticed the street signs. Why are those important? What info am I learning from those? I was learning all about my location, where I was so that I could safely get to my destination. Everywhere you go, boys and girls, you have the opportunity to learn from visuals. In our nonfiction books, there are many different types of visuals. Kiddos, just a little heads up, there will be a lot of different places within this video where you have the opportunity to pause and really zoom in on the different pieces of information that I'm holding up. So take advantage of that if you'd like to. So as I was mentioning, there are a lot of different types of visuals that you may come across in your nonfiction books. So I made you a little chart here to kind of talk about and really focus in on a few of those types of visuals. So you might find charts, diagrams, graphs, maps, timelines, or even those pictures that we've already kind of talked about. So if you want to go ahead and pause and really zoom in on these, you are more than welcome to. I am now, boys and girls, going to kind of show you the different examples of these because you might be thinking, I know what a map is, but what in the world is a diagram? I will be here to show you. So let's go ahead and start with a chart. Here's a wonderful example of a chart right here. This is what a chart might look like. Charts, boys and girls, usually teach you a little bit more about what it is that you're learning, possibly about specific names in this case. This chart is teaching us what different names are called in the different scientific fashion. Okay, so here's a chart. Next, we have a diagram. Now, diagrams, boys and girls, are ways that the author kind of points out the different places of a particular item. In this case, we have a turtle, and this diagram is showing us and telling us more about these different body parts on the turtle. You've probably seen diagrams quite a bit. Very cool. Next, we have a graph. Now, friends, I couldn't find a graph in any of the nonfiction books that I have here at home, and so I made one instead. And yes, this does have true facts on it. I looked it up online. So here we have a graph that shows the koala population. Now, graphs, boys and girls, often tell us information that has happened over time. So here it shows that in 2007, we had a whole bunch of koalas. 2010, it rose a little bit in 2013, it dropped a little bit more in 2015. So as I mentioned, graphs usually tell us about particular events that have happened over time. Next, I'll show you an example of a map. This one, again, I bet a lot of you are familiar with. Here's an example. Maps often teach us all about the different locations of particular places or habitats. In this case, this is telling us all about where a particular type of white-tailed deer live. It's saying that they mostly live in the United States and Canada. So here's an example of a map text feature. Ooh, next we have timelines. Here we have a really interesting timeline, all on the moon phases. Timelines, again, pretty similarly to graphs, tell about time and, of course, the way in which they move. So here we have, it's showing us the different phases of the moon. And it shows us the arrows in which direction they happen. So again, these kind of tell us just different events and when those events have taken place. And finally, we have pictures. Now remember, boys and girls, in your nonfiction books, your pictures may look a bit different. You might have pictures that are illustrations that are drawn, or maybe more they're like photographed really realistically. So here we have our koalas book. And I know we spoke about this one 2 days ago on that last lesson. But here we have a photograph, and then over here we have an illustration, but both of them are pictures. Pretty cool. Okay, so friends, why don't we go ahead and do the magic trick? Remember, remember, as long as there is a heading on the page, you can kind of open up your nonfiction book to any page and it will make sense. So let's try that with our koala book. Ooh. Ooh, we have a text feature here. We have a visual. Think to yourself, which type of visual am I showing you on this page? If you have someone at home, why don't you turn and tell that friend or that family member? Is this a chart, a diagram, a graph, a map, a timeline, or a picture? If you said that this is a diagram, let's go ahead, boys and girls, and zoom in on that diagram. Now, friends, here we go. When you see a visual, ding, 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 you need to stop and think, what information am I learning? And why is this information important? So here we have its body curls up to fit between branches. Down here we have fur on its bottom is extra thick. It is a built-in seat cushion. Cool. Here we have strong legs help a koala climb up and down trees. Next we have paws that have pads that keep a koala from slipping. Long claws dig into tree trunks and branches. Front paws have 2 thumbs and 3 fingers. These help grab branches. And finally, long arms wrap around trees. Okay, friends, think, think, think. What information am I learning? The information that you're learning, boys and girls, is the different body parts of a koala and how it is used. Next, why is this information important? Why do we need to know how the different body parts are used? I think it is so that we can learn exactly how koalas use these different parts to climb. Da, 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 da. Nicely done, boys and girls. Alrighty, so today and every day, I need you, when you pick up a nonfiction book, to really zoom in on the text feature of visuals. And when you come across one, you need to stop and think about these 2 questions. What information am I learning? And why is this info important? You get to go ahead and practice this yourselves, friends. Pick up a nonfiction book and give it a go. Thanks so much for learning with me. Goodbye, first graders.